Thank you. I'm Mr. Lehner. Welcome back to another fantastic episode of Mr. Lehner's Math Extravaganza. In today's episode, we're going to tackle how to solve two-step equations. Let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into it. When solving two-step equations, you need to work backwards using the reverse of the order of operations. So we'll kind of show you exactly what this means. Here are two examples of two algebraic equations that have two steps. In our first one, it says 3g minus 2 equals 7. When we look at this, we talked about last time the coefficient. The coefficient of g is the number 3. So it says 3g minus 2 equals 7. In this problem, it says to use the go backwards with the order of operations. So in the order of operations, normally multiplication would come first. But since we're going to use the reverse, we're now going to do our addition or subtraction first. Let's look at how to solve this one. In this problem, I'm going to start it off just like I have any other algebraic equation that we've looked at. I'm going to draw my handy-dandy line right down that middle. The first step then is going to be getting rid of the addition or subtraction. If I have a minus 2 on this side, to get it by itself, I have to add a plus 2. I'm left with 3g on this side. If I added 2 on this side, I then must add 2 to this side. 7 plus the 2 becomes 9. Now my goal is to still get the variable by itself. However, 3g is not the variable by itself. It still has the coefficient of 3. So when I have my number next to a variable, it stands for multiplication. I have to do the inverse, which is division. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, or in this case the letter g. What I do to one side, I do to the other. 9 divided by 3 becomes 3, so g equals 3. Let's plug it back in to see if this one worked. If I think that g is 3, it would be 3 times 3, which is 9, 9 minus 2, which is 7. So I know that I've done this problem correctly. Again, let's walk through it very quickly one more time. I used the reverse or backwards of the order of operations. So I added 2 to get rid of this negative 2 there. Left me with 3g. I added 2 to this side to get 9. Then 3g equals 9. I divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 became 3. Let's try another problem over here. In our second problem, we have 2y plus 3 equals 11. I'm going to follow the same rules. Draw my line down the middle. To get rid of this plus 3 on this side, I have to subtract 3. That becomes 0. I'm left with 2y. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So if I subtracted 3 from here, I then too need to subtract 3 from this side. 11 minus 3 becomes 8. Now my problem reached 2y equals 8. I divide this side by 2. That leaves me with y. I then divide this side by 2. 8 divided by 2 is equal to 4. Again, let's plug it back in to see if this works. If I think that y is 4, 2 times 4 would become 8. 8 plus 3 would become 11. I know that I've done this problem correctly. If you've noticed in these first two practice problems, the reason that these are two-step equations is there's actually 2 steps to the problem. My first step is to get rid of my actual number, which is the addition or subtraction on this side. That was my first step, which made this problem 2y equals 8. I then solved for the variable using division or the inverse operation to get y equals 4. So here was step 1, this was step 2, and I was able to arrive at my answer. Alright, again, my favorite time in this lesson. It's time for you to take out your pencil and a piece of paper. Go ahead and pause this video, and I want you to try these 2 problems up here on the board. 2b plus 6 equals 12, and also 3g plus 4 equals a negative 5. And I've thrown in a negative integer just to see if I can trick you guys. Go ahead and pause that video and try these 2. Alright, let's take a look. In our problem, start off by drawing that line down the middle. I want to solve for this variable. I need to get rid of this plus 6 first. So to get rid of the plus 6, I must subtract 6. 6 and 6 become 0. I'm left with 2b. 12 minus 6 becomes 6. I now have 2b equals 6. To get b by itself, I must divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 equals 1, or in this case, just the b. 6 divided by 2, b equals 3. Let's plug it back in and check it. If I think b is 3, 2 times 3 would be 6. 6 plus 6 would equal 12. I know that I've done this problem correctly. Let's get to the challenge problem on this side. I'm going to work it the same way. Put that line right down the middle. To get rid of the plus 4, I'm going to subtract the 4. This becomes 3g. If I subtracted 4 from this side, I must subtract 4 from this side. So a negative 5 and a negative 4 becomes negative 9. Now I need to divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, or g. I'm going to divide this side by 3. So remember we talked about these negative integers. Here comes that tricky part. 9 divided by 3 is 3. If I have a negative and a positive, my answer is going to be negative. So in this case, g is going to equal negative 3. Again, let's plug it back in. A positive 3 times a negative 3 is going to give us negative 9. A negative 9 and a positive 4 would leave me with negative 5, so I know that my answer is correct. Now, if I thought the answer was positive 3 when I divided, let's plug a positive 3 back in. 3 times a positive 3 times a positive 3 would be positive 9. 9 plus 4 would be 13. So I know that I have made a mistake if I thought that was my answer. That's why it's really important that you guys plug these numbers back in so that you can check them. If you got these runs wrong, again, try some other practice problems. If you got these right, congratulations, nice job. Keep trying those brain busters to challenge you guys as you're working through these. I'm Mr. Lehner from Mr. Lehner's Math Extravaganza. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.